And good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Monday, October 22nd. We got the morning fog back, at least for a few days. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. On our show today, we're doing a segment with Roy Burninghouse. He is, of course, on the third board, and he's got several different things that he is going to talk about, including he wanted to remind you folks that there are vacancies both on the third board and on the VMS board representing third. Also, we have a doctor from Saddleback Medical Center, Memorial Care, and he works in the emergency medicine, but what we're really going to be talking about today is wound care. Also, we have a candidate running for the El Toro Water District. Michael Gaskins is here today, and we're going to bring you a segment from Breastlink. Now, as far as meetings go today, there are 3 meetings. Third has their Architectural Control and Standards Committee. That will be at 9:30 in the Sycamore Room. GRF has their Security and Community Access meeting in the boardroom at 1:30. And United has their Governing Documents Review Committee. That will be at 1:30 in the Sycamore Room. Now, let's get to the weather. The fog is back, at least for about 3 days. And, well, actually, I guess if you count yesterday, it came in Sunday for 4 days. So this is kind of nice. Things are cooling off, a little bit back to normal temperatures. And we're going to stay in the mid to slightly upper 70s for the next few days. As we get to Thursday and Friday, though, we're going to start to bump that back up. A high pressure forms. We may see the winds coming back those days. Not quite sure yet, and there's certain areas that it's in the forecast for, meaning North LA, Ventura County. So we'll see if it comes back. I have a feeling we'll probably get a little bit of the winds, and not unusual this time of the year where we cool off or maybe get a little rain, then the winds come back. So I wouldn't doubt that getting into maybe Friday that we have the offshore winds. We'll see, and I'll let you know as we get closer to that. Here we are, just a beautiful day around Southern California. Now remember, this fog is all going to clear up. If you saw yesterday, it cleared up pretty quickly, and I want to say about 10:30. So it's going to be a beautiful day out today, and I love it. The fog will come back in tonight. It's just wonderful. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Maxi Comfort from Golden is the most comfortable lift recliner in the world. Its patented technology glides smoothly into a variety of positions not found on most recliners. Everyone loves the programmable auto-drive control. You can lift and recline, watch TV or sleep, and enjoy the feeling of weightlessness in zero gravity. Made by American workers and backed by the industry's best warranties. Feel relaxed in a Maxi Comfort lift recliner. Contact your local Golden retailer today.
Well, I'd like to welcome Roy Burninghouse with us from the third board, and you got a lot to talk about coming up.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you folks just had your, I want to say election, but honestly, it ended up being two folks that came onto the board.
Yeah.
And that leaves you with one vacancy because one of the board members dropped out, right?
Yes, he dropped out before the election. So
yeah.
We have one vacancy on third board, and we're anxious to have folks apply. The applications close on October 30th, and we will be making decisions after that. This will be an appointed board member by the board as opposed to being elected by everybody to fulfill Jules's term.
Yeah.
And then we're also looking for a third mutual rep for the VMS board. And those applications also close on October 30th.
Right, yeah.
And so we hope we're going to get some good candidates for that position too. So it's very good. So we're looking for 2 volunteers.
Okay. Now on the VMS board, how long is that for? Is that for a year?
That's for a 3-year term.
Oh, it is. Okay.
That's for a 3-year term. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right. Very good.
We did an awful lot last week, as you know.
Yeah.
We passed 3 resolutions that required no 30 days. The 30 days was up, so these are now part of the law. And we also passed a number of resolutions that we're going to put on 30-day review. So after the 30 days, these we'll bring them up again. I do want to mention the fact that our November board meeting has been changed to November 29th.
Right.
9:30 in the boardroom. So we'll be talking about these resolutions on 30 days at that point. But I did want to talk about a couple of these resolutions that relate to each other. There are 2 resolutions, the common area policy and the yellow stake program.
Okay.
They both have to do with common area. And I think part of the problem we've had is, we've gotten much more restrictive in terms of giving away common area to owners. And there are a bunch of good reasons for that. A lot of people don't understand what they actually own when they live in a condo. They own the unit, inside the unit to the paint.
Yeah.
And that's all. And they don't own anything outside except for the outside of their doors and windows, because the windows and doors are considered part of the interior.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is common area. And so a lot of people don't understand that, that little area around their front porch or their breezeway or whatever, that all belongs to the common owners, which are all of us in a common interest development. So it's important to understand that. It provides protection because, in fact, the association insures all of that common area. So, the unit owner only has to insure inside the unit. And you get an HO6 policy, it's much less expensive than a full homeowner's policy. But it also creates problems for people who, where they are able, want to have the board give them additional common area so they can build out what they think is, the rest of their area. There is such a thing called exclusive use, and exclusive use common area is still common area. Yeah. But it includes your balconies and your patios.
All right.
So a lot of people get confused about it. And again, common area is called common area because we live in a common interest development. We all own that together collectively. Right. Now, you and I can't go out and identify our little square, 1 foot square part of that. Reminds me of when my mother bought part of this island that they were trying to preserve off of Cape Cod. Yeah. I think her square footage was about 2 square feet. And of course the mutual, as you know, maintains all of that common area. So we get in there and fix things and take care of things and so forth, whether it's buildings or whether it's landscape. The other reason that, and so we get to the yellow stake program, which we had put on hold, and now we've basically ended it. And there are a number of reasons for that. First of all, it was not tracked very well. And it tended to be abused. People start, you give them an inch, they take a mile. They start planting from here to here, and then the next thing you know, they're planting from here to here, and they're not necessarily planting with drought-tolerant plants. And that was the main reason we did this, because we want control of this landscape, and we want to convert it to a drought-tolerant California landscape where we use less water. Right. Because we are in a drought, and it doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. I think this has become kind of the new normal. Right. So it's very important that whatever we do, and we are really going to focus on this year. We've appropriated a couple of $100,000 to get started, but we're looking at this conversion. We've been talking with consultants who design these landscapes. If you go over to Great Park, for example, in Irvine, you don't see a blade of grass over there. They got rid of all the grass. They have the most beautiful ground cover. And we've been showing pictures in our landscape committee meetings to our residents, and they like it. It's beautiful. If you go over to Soku University, they have done a marvelous job over there. They do have some lawns, by the way. I have to talk to them about that. So those are the 2 that were passed and are done. Okay. Actually, yellow stake is on 30-day, but the common area is done. And the other 2 that I want to talk about are the key file program and the vacant manor policy and procedure. And those are linked because if you have a manor that you have not occupied more than or for 6 months or more, we're going to inspect it.
Right, right.
And what we're looking for is leaks, bugs,
right.
You know, anything that would cause problems for anybody who's living next to it or below it. You know, so because we all live kind of together, except for some of the folks in Gate 11, they have their own standalones. So the key file program is an integral part of that, because if you're going away and you know it's going to be unoccupied for more than 6 months, you need leave a key. And even if it doesn't have anything to do with an unoccupied manor, it's a good idea to give community services your key.
For security reasons, yes.
For security, for if you lock yourself out, you can save $200 for a locksmith.
Yeah.
And if you fall down, as a lady did in my building, and her door was locked and the emergency services couldn't get in, and thank God her caregiver owned a unit next door, he had her key. But if he hadn't had her key and it wasn't deposited in our lockbox program, those emergency people, they'll go right through that door. And then you're paying, you know, you're paying a lot of money to get that fixed.
Yeah.
I used to be a volunteer fireman. I've seen those guys go through doors.
Yeah.
And, you know, it ain't cheap to replace them, and you have to replace them because it's your door. So it's a great program. And the keys are under, as you know, we've got, 2 security cameras facing the safe where the keys are. You get a certificate, you get your key number, so you put that in a safe place. And then if something happens, they can zip right, or call security, they'll come zipping down there with the key. It saves a lot of money and time. So those are the 2 ones I want to talk about. And finally, I want to talk about, we just got through not only approving, but putting in place our non-emergency maintenance chargeable services.
Yeah.
And you can get this fine brochure down at Resident Services that's down there now. And what we tried to do here, this is not the same thing as the handyman program. This is professional services that are not emergency, such as carpentry services, if you need your door lock changed, if you need repair to your sliding screen doors. These are things that you would normally have to go outside the village to get somebody. And our prices are very competitive.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, go out on Home Advisor and ask them how much the plumber's going to charge to come fix your toilet.
Yeah.
But we have electrical services, we have plumbing, we have paving. You know, if you've got stain and oil on your driveway, we'll come clean it up.
There's a lot.
There's a lot
offer.
here. Yeah. And they're professional services.
Yeah.
You know, that you would spend a lot more if you went outside the gate. So we're real happy.
True.
So that's, you know, we've got a procedure in place for that. You go down, you sign up. And I volunteered at the board meeting last week. I was going to be the first board member to go down there because I've got some things I got to fix this toilet. You know, the float doesn't go up and down the way it should. So I'm going to be one of the first ones down there.
All right. Very good.
So that's it for this week.
All right. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have a good day today?
So far.
All right. Very good.
So far.
All right.
It's Monday.
Thank you very much. And again,
thanks.
The third meeting will be coming up in November. We still got a ways away. We'll remind you a few times.
Yeah.
But it's at the end of November on the 29th, not the regular date.
Good.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Welcome back. I have a very interesting doctor here today from Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center. I'd like to welcome Dr. Bill Corey, and he is in emergency medicine at the Advanced Wound Healing and Hyperbaric Medicine Center at Saddleback. And great to have you here today.
Pleasure being here as well.
And you do work in the ER right now. But you also help with the wound healing. And that's really what we're going to talk about today, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Why is it that some wounds just don't want to heal? What are some of the reasons that this happens?
So there's quite a few different reasons. So that's when a patient first comes to us, we'll evaluate them to figure out that exact question. Why is the wound not healing? Sometimes the wound really needs a cleaning, or we call it a debridement, where the base of the wound is filled with unhealthy tissue. Sometimes somebody has peripheral arterial disease, or PAD, that's really impeding the healing process, and so we'll check somebody's circulation, make sure that it's adequate for healing. And sometimes there are other factors like radiation. Maybe a patient had cancer and has had radiation, and that's really injured the tissue around the area.
Okay.
And it really impedes healing too. And so we do things like advanced therapies, including hyperbaric oxygen therapy, to help those wounds heal.
So with that type of therapy, is it you isolate the person or just the wound when you're doing that oxygen therapy?
So yeah, so the entire body has to go in a chamber. We have 3 chambers, and the chamber is filled with 100% oxygen under pressure. We go to, for those who dive at all, to 2 atmospheres absolute.
Okay.
And they'll breathe in that oxygen under pressure. It'll improve their tissue oxygenation significantly, usually 10 times or 10-fold.
Wow.
And that'll actually really improve their healing capability, especially if they have that oxygen deficiency, which is what we'll see sometimes.
At what point should somebody come in? And I'm talking about maybe they haven't had some of these other conditions.
All right.
Maybe they got a wound at home somehow.
Sure.
Didn't seem that big a deal. They put a bandage on it, but after a certain length of time, it just doesn't seem like it's healing well.
Yeah, I would say typically if a patient's wound hasn't healed in maybe 2 or 3 weeks, especially if it's a smaller wound that hasn't healed in that period of time, there's something else going on that needs a little bit of help. So I'd recommend seeing a wound care therapist that can take a look and basically do some testing, possibly. Sometimes it'll just need something minor or simple to allow it to heal, but probably a 2 or 3 week time period may be a good guide.
Okay, and it is normal as we age that wounds take longer to heal.
It sure does.
I mean, a little kid, they skin their knee, and 3 days later, you're like, doesn't even look like anything happened.
Absolutely, yeah. So as we age, the healing definitely is delayed, no doubt.
So what type of wounds are you seeing when you do this? Is it simple, like somebody cut themselves at home? Is it due to a major injury?
Yeah, so I would say, a good part of what we see are traumatic wounds, we would call them, where somebody has run into, a dishwasher door or something along those lines. They've developed complications related to that. We have quite a few patients that are on anticoagulants, like Coumadin or Xarelto. And what will happen is they'll develop much more bleeding than would be expected, and the tissue will not survive. We'll have patients with diabetes and have what we call diabetic neuropathy. Their nerves are not healthy, and they have numbness. We'll have wounds related to arterial disease, where their arteries are narrowed and the oxygenation is poor, or venous disease, where their veins are really not able to take blood out of their legs very efficiently, and they develop swelling. And then radiation wounds. We'll have patients who have had radiation for cancers and develop wounds related to that too.
Are they, when you see these wounds, are they large, are they deep, or can be anything?
So it'll run the gamut. So we'll have some patients that have very small wounds that are just not healing over months. And then we'll have some patients that have pretty dramatic large wounds. It could be the size of, an orange, or sometimes even a melon, a small melon, that required quite a bit of work to allow them to heal and really require more longer-term therapy.
And I would think that not getting these taken care of, it can lead to many other problems.
For sure. So whenever the skin is broken, that's our main barrier to prevent infection, and there's a risk for developing a local infection in the tissue. We call that cellulitis. They can get what's called osteomyelitis if it goes down to the bone, or if there's bone exposure. They can become septic, which is also obviously very serious and can be life-threatening. So definitely we try to do everything possible to get that wound closed and healed as soon as possible to reduce the risk of those complications.
So what are some of the things you do to clean out that wound that a normal person at home couldn't do?
Sure, I would say one, we'll do a debridement, it's called typically. So we'll go in there and remove any unhealthy tissue, and that speeds healing and also improves or reduces the risk of infection developing.
Okay.
We'll do that regularly, so typically on a weekly basis. We have a lot of specialized dressings, so a lot of it's basically preventing bacterial buildup or bacteria from building up on the wound and controlling moisture. And then we have advanced therapies we use as well, so things like, we call them skin substitutes or artificial skin grafts that we use on wounds to help accelerate healing, along with the oxygen therapy like we talked about a little bit.
Okay, I asked you before we started here that I've heard that, that in some areas or sometimes they actually use maggots to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had heard once it started in England. I don't know if this is true or not, but
yeah, so
true, false, does it work?
It absolutely works for certain types of wounds, and we've used it for some wounds that have a lot of necrotic, or we call it, dead tissue in the wounds themselves. And the maggots are amazing because they actually eat only dead tissue, not live tissue. So it's like the best surgeon going in there and removing only the devitalized or dead tissue, but leaving the healthy tissue in place. And so they'll start off really small, and over a matter of a few days, they become larger after eating all this dead or necrotic material. This is done in the hospital, of course, and the maggots are caged so they can't escape. But basically, after a few days, we'll have a wound that looks quite, a lot of devitalized or necrotic or dead tissue to a clean, healthy base. So it is quite effective. Not commonly used for practical reasons, but very effective for sure. Yeah.
How do you get them out afterwards? You will use a little vacuum or something?
Yeah. So actually, you mechanically remove them. So they're encaged, so they're in a limited space. And when we remove them, we actually we add some solution to them to help express them so that they come out, and we mechanically remove them. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What should somebody do, just in general, with a wound at home? And let's say it's not a wound that they probably need to come in on.
Right.
What is the proper way to take care of that? I guess it depends whether it's a deep cut or whatever it might be. An abrasion. Should you use the what's it called? The cream that you put on it, Oxysporin or something like that.
Oh yeah, like triple antibiotic.
Or that kind of thing.
Neosporin.
Should you just Neosporin? Should you just clean it? Should you?
Yeah. So initially you want to stop the bleeding, of course. So if it's actively bleeding, we'd want you to put something on it where you're putting pressure on it. Hold that for 5 minutes, then let go and make sure the bleeding is stopped. So that's initially. After that, I would recommend just washing it with simply soap and water.
Okay.
And then rinsing it really well with water.
Okay.
And then from there, it's a good idea to use some type of an antibacterial ointment and then cover it with a dressing. So for instance, using something like Neosporin is fine, bacitracin or triple antibiotic ointment is fine, and then just covering it with a simple dressing.
Okay.
And changing that typically once a day.
Okay.
And usually within a matter of a week or 2 weeks, I would say it should close and heal with new tissue. There should be no drainage. We actually like to prevent a scab from forming. Most people think a scab is a good thing.
Right.
And it's a little bit of not true, actually. We actually prefer a scab not to form because we know that the skin edges will come together faster without a scab, and it'll actually heal better without a scab. So typically what we'd like to do is keep a little bit of moisture on the wound to prevent a scab from forming, because otherwise if there's a hardened scab, that can really delay healing. I know, and most people think a scab is a good thing and they're happy to see it.
Yeah.
And if it's a wound on the surface, it's fine, the wound will heal. But if it's a deeper wound, a hardened scab definitely is not something we'd want to see.
Wow. Now, to do that, are there certain kinds of bandages one should be using at home? And I'm talking about, again, you got a little cut on your finger, not a big deal, you put on the standard Band-Aid.
Right.
But if something's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, really just keeping it covered. There are different types of dressings, but most things will trap a little bit of moisture underneath the dressing, which will keep a scab from forming. Also adding on an ointment, usually an antibacterial ointment like bacitracin, for instance, will also prevent a scab from hardening so that it comes off fairly easy when the dressing is changed. So, yeah.
And then after a few weeks, if it's not healing, it's time to come and see you folks.
Yeah, and usually what we'll do is we'll typically do some checks, circulation, whatnot, make sure that's okay if it's in the lower extremities, and then try to figure out what's going on. It's a lot of times very readily apparent, like there's too much swelling or the circulation is not very good, and then we deal with those. Okay,
if that's happening and there's no other conditions going on, should someone then call their primary first, or just come in to see you folks?
So they can come in directly to see us if their insurance allows. So some insurances, I should say, they have to go through their primary physician to get a referral. But if they don't require that, then they can come directly to us. We're happy to see them.
All right, where are you folks located?
So we're actually 26137 La Paz Road in Mission Viejo, Suite 120.
Okay.
And so we're a little ways from the hospital, not too far, but I think
what's the cross street there?
So there's La Paz Road. It's right off of the freeway. So
right by Cabot there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's basically just a block or so from the freeway. It's pretty easy to find. It's in a larger complex.
All right.
So, yeah.
Very good. A lot of great information.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I learned a lot.
Absolutely.
Doctor,
Pleasure
hope
meeting.
to see you again.
Absolutely.
You take care.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. But if you want more information, you can go to memorialcare.org/SB Wound Care. We'll be right back.
When you travel with AAA, you get more than a vacation. You get exclusive AAA member benefits, special offers on unforgettable experiences, and the travel planning knowledge of your own AAA travel agent. When you travel with AAA, you get the vacation of your dreams. To save on a pleasant holidays vacation, visit your local AAA travel agent today.
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
Through my window, I see the first sunlight, and I feel the warm ocean breeze. I see the waves that lulled me all night. That's what my window brings me.
Look at this.
That view is $1 million.
It's amazing we can look at these kinds of places within our budget.
You don't have a bad view from here anywhere you look.
It's all about the view. Sunday night is beach night. Sunday night at 8, only on HGTV.
When other dealers say no, Capistrano Toyota says, yes, we can. Low payments? Yes, we can. Low financing for all types of credit? Yes, we can. Capistrano Toyota features 10 acres of new and certified pre-owned Toyotas, plus many used cars priced below $10,000. When other dealers say no, Capistrano Toyota says, yes, we can. Exit the 5 freeway at Camino Capistrano.
And I'd like to welcome Michael Gaskins, and Mike is running for the El Toro Water District Board. He is also a resident here in Laguna Woods Village. Mike,
pleased
nice to have you on.
Thank you.
Very happy to have all the candidates coming on from all the different areas right now this time of the year.
The Water District is a controversial position.
Well, it's, yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. I guess the first question is, you live here in the village.
I do.
Why are you running, and have you run for anything before? Have you been on any other water district boards or anything else?
No, I have never been political, really considered it. Mm-hmm. And then when the trustee or director died in June,
right,
Bill Khan.
Bill Khan, yes.
Anyway, they advertised to fill the remainder of the position.
Right.
And my background lends itself to water. I spent 10 years as a chemist, microbiologist in a water district. I went over into labor.
Oh, okay.
And then I ended up being a human resources director in the city of Montebello. So my background in public employment is very broad, plus the technical part of water. So I decided I was pretty qualified. Beginning of June, I had no idea I was going to do this. Then I applied to fill the remainder position. Both myself and Catherine Freshley applied for the job.
Right.
And she was selected.
Okay.
And I think it's because she had a history with them, they knew who she was,
right,
et cetera, and I was an outsider newcomer.
Okay.
And so as I looked at the situation, I decided, I could run for this. And so I threw my hat in the ring, and here we are, and I appreciate you having me on here.
And so your background is at a chemist and microbiologist? And,
my degree is marine biology, minor in geology, and I've done a number of different things. But I did spend a lot of time in a certified water lab.
Okay.
So I know a lot about both drinking water, the domestic stuff, and wastewater and the wastewater treatment process.
And part of that is you would test samples coming in and...
every day. Generate a couple of thousand data points. And the hard thing about the job was writing it down and then forgetting it. to keep from cluttering up everything. But yeah, several thousand data points a day.
All right. I know a little about that because my stepdaughter does something very similar.
Oh, okay.
So this is obviously, you're not going to be doing data points, you're not going to be doing things like that. You're going to be on a board overseeing the water district and of course making suggestions and being part of a group that looks at the future of the water board, what needs to be done. And of course, this is one of those situations where the water board, all the water boards in this area, they mesh, of course, with the Metropolitan Water District, which, of course, with the state and the Colorado River and beyond. So it's not just sitting on a small little board that is looking at a particular area. It has to be looked on at a much larger scope.
I agree with that. LA, our whole area is parasitic because we rely on water coming in from other places. We don't have enough of our own.
Right.
And so having to interact with those other agencies overseen probably by mostly Metropolitan, but also the State Water Project, all of those. Turn of the century, the issue was irrigation. It was just irrigate crops, and that's where all these water districts sprung up from.
Right. Now, if you get on the board, are there certain things that you've looked at that you would like to see different? And I don't mean particularly any one person on the board, you'd like to see it handled differently, but just different issues that maybe you've come across or have looked into that you thought to yourself, you know what, maybe I would have liked to look at this a slightly different way.
I don't know. My impression is that the district has been really well run over the years. I think they've been proactive in getting tertiary treatment down at the wastewater plant, producing a supply of reclaimed water for irrigation. To the extent that they've had funds, they've installed the separate system to deliver, because you don't want the two mixing.
Right. Of course, you don't want that.
Well, the tertiary water technically is drinkable.
Yeah.
But it's just the concept of drinking it. It is difficult for most people, and I wouldn't drink it unless I was dying of thirst.
Right.
But the reclaimed is really important, because all the water we don't irrigate, that we don't buy from Metropolitan, et cetera, it is a conservation savings. We're recycling water. Sewage in itself is more than 99% just water.
Right. How do you feel about Proposition 3 that is on the ballot right now? This is the State Water Initiative, and on one hand, yes, it could provide building of, I think the tunnels up in the Delta, and a lot of it, of the bond money will go to different districts and things like that. Of course, on the other hand, it's, no matter how you look at it, and eventually it's another tax and or fee that we have to pay.
It's like buying something with my MasterCard.
Right.
I'll pay for it later.
Yeah.
But what they're getting, I believe, is very important. Is the water in California is huge. You read about some of the actually abuses in the Central Valley, and we want to try to get away from that. The measure, or Proposition 3, both does build infrastructure and stuff in Northern California.
Right.
But it also has a component which allows local districts like El Toro to apply for grants to maybe increase our use of tertiary water. So for that and for us locally, I completely support it. That there might be a downside to it, but the upside is much bigger.
Okay, very good. Of course, you are a resident here, so therefore you are right in the district, and you are someone who sees how our water is handled here in the village. And we have our local boards, the homeowner boards, that are constantly finding ways to save water, working in conjunction quite often with the El Toro Water District.
Right. Well, I've been here about 2.5 years.
Okay.
And I'm just still getting a handle on who Third Mutual is.
Yeah, it takes a little while, doesn't it?
And who belongs to what.
Yeah.
But I do understand that the water district supplies it to the organizations, and the organizations then disperse it to residents and do all the landscaping, things like that. I heard one of your earlier speakers talking about increasing the use of drought-tolerant landscaping.
Right.
And that's important.
Yeah.
Again, it's all water conservation.
Right. And again, your background, many different things, including working with labor, working with human resources, and so you kind of see everything from different sides.
As a public employer, there are things that you've got. There are regulations you have to follow with besides just Fair Labor Standards Act and a few other things. My impression is that El Toro Water District has been really well run from a personnel area. And probably the most telling point is the fact that they do not have an employee union that any other water district around here does.
Right.
Because they've decided they had the need. So my employee, El Toro, seems to have happy, well-paid employees who do a good job for the money.
They do a very good job.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah. All right, Mike, thank you very much for coming on. Your website is very easy, Mike Gaskins. MikeGaskins.com, and you can find out more about that there. And it's great to have you on today, and it's always good to get to know the candidates.
Okay, well, I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your service. Vietnam veteran?
I was just kind of quietly advertising.
All right, no, that's always good.
Yeah, 50 years ago, November 18th, I got blown up.
Oh, wow.
So that's a long time ago.
Yeah, but still, thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll be right back. We'll get you unhooked in just a moment.
Oh, okay, that's right. I'm not supposed to go anywhere until...
Hi, I'm Wendy Miller, your Laguna Woods real estate professional. Have you been looking for a realtor?
Wendy Miller helped me through the challenging process of real estate here in Laguna Woods. She was helpful, she was fun, she was professional. I really recommend her.
Whether you're thinking of buying, selling, downsizing, or even relocating within Laguna Woods, I am your real estate professional and can help guide you through the entire process. Give me a call and I'll help you make the right move.
Thank you for joining us. Today we have Dr. John Link, who's a breast oncologist, and we're here to talk about what it's like to have breast cancer and the aftermath. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa.
So not only are you an oncologist, but you're also an author, and we'll talk about the book later. Give me a little bit of idea of, we talk a lot about the diagnosis and the surgery and the treatments, but what happens afterwards once you've been through all of that? What can a patient expect?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think over the years that's changed to some degree. When I first went into being a breast oncologist, which, by the way, I was the first breast oncologist in probably the Western United States.
Wow.
So I've been doing this for 30 plus years and have taken care of
over 10,000 women with breast cancer. So, and when I first, and the point I'm trying to make is that when I first started as a breast oncologist, the prognosis, the cure rate for breast cancer was 55%. And presently it's up to 95%. So it's been over 30 years, we've made tremendous progress. And the disease, when a woman got the news that she had breast cancer, and oftentimes she would present with a lump, because that was right at the time when mammograms were first coming forth, and a majority of women really presented with a much more advanced cancer with a lump, rather than finding it before it's palpable. And the way breast cancer was diagnosed back then was that she would go to her primary doctor, who would refer her to a surgeon, and the surgeon would schedule her to have a breast biopsy in the hospital under anesthesia. So she would go in, and the surgeon would say to the patient, to the woman, if you wake up from your breast biopsy and you don't feel pain and you're not heavily bandaged, it was a benign biopsy. On the other hand, if you wake up and you're heavily bandaged, you unfortunately have breast cancer and you've had a mastectomy.
Oh gosh.
And so, and mastectomy was really the only treatment at that point. So here we are today, 35 years later, and basically 70 to 80% of breast cancers are found before they're palpable. Majority of women choose to have a lumpectomy. There's much less deformity, and so things have changed dramatically.
Exactly.
So the reaction to the disease when you get the diagnosis is much different today than it was back then. Back then, there was a real threat for a woman that she would die from the disease. And one of the reasons that kept women away from going to the doctor with a lump, they had such fear and denial of breast cancer that they really went into a denial mode until they couldn't ignore it. Now women, I think, are much more motivated because they know if it's found early, the treatment is less deforming.
Right.
So,
right.
So to get back to your original question, once a woman's diagnosed, there's this acute treatment phase, and we treat in two kind of areas. One is local control, so we have to remove the cancer from the breast, and if there are any lymph nodes involved, we want the cancer out.
Right.
And then if there is risk that cells have escaped into the system, then we treat systemically to prevent recurrence.
Right.
And that is sometimes chemotherapy, much less chemotherapy than we used to use, but most often it's a hormonal treatment.
Right. Okay.
And that hormonal treatment lasts usually from 3 to 5 years, but some women that are at higher risk of recurrence will actually have 10 years of treatment. And there are at least 2 classes of hormone treatment. The one that is the oldest is what we call a SERM, selective estrogen receptor modulator, and that is tamoxifen, which is an estrogen molecule, and its mechanism is that it doesn't stimulate hormone-positive breast cancer like hormones do, like estrogen does. It is an analog to estrogen, and it goes to the cancer cell, hits those receptors, and blocks them and starves the cell from getting any kind of estrogen, and the cell dies. And then the other hormone treatment we use is an adrenal blocking drug called an aromatase inhibitor, which is only used in postmenopausal women. So the follow-up of a woman who's been diagnosed, number one, the prognosis is much, much better. And we are concerned about not over-treating women and around quality of life issues. And the two doctors that are most involved, one would be the breast surgeon, and it's usually her role or his role to watch over the breasts and monitoring for local recurrence and monitoring and protecting and finding early breast cancer out into the future.
Right.
Because once a woman has had breast cancer, she is more prone to get a second one. Not hugely so, unless she carries one of the genes.
Right.
So, but we continue to monitor for years into the future, and that's usually the breast surgeon's role.
Right. Okay.
If a woman needs systemic therapy, either hormonal therapy or chemotherapy, then the medical oncologist is involved during that treatment, and then usually continues to follow the patient every 3 to 6 months for around 5 years.
Okay.
And then once we hit these landmarks where the cure rate is expected to be very high, then we turn the patient over to her primary doctor.
Okay. All right. So obviously medically, you have it down from the beginning to the end. And I guess from an emotional standpoint, you know, how does a patient fathom all of that as, you know, during and then after? I mean, once you've gone through all of that, what kind of care is after? From an emotional standpoint, okay. I mean, what would you suggest?
So with the crisis of the diagnosis, emotionally most women are frightened. I mean, this potentially is a life-threatening disease, and it affects their total well-being, their hormones, their body to some degree. So the initial emotional reaction is one of fear, and then with education and basically meeting the challenge, most women get in a fighting mode.
Yep.
And understand they have a good prognosis and understand the risk and the benefits of the various treatments. And the surgery, oftentimes radiation with a lumpectomy, and the systemic therapy, if it's chemotherapy, that's a 6-month process.
Okay.
And if there's no chemotherapy, it's surgery and radiation, and that's a 3-month process.
Okay.
Once you hit that landmark, I mean that time frame where you've gotten through the acute phase, then there's obviously a sigh of relief, but there's still this concern, is it going to come back?
Right, right.
And that concern for many women never goes away. It's kind of a post-traumatic stress thing. So, and many women, every time they get a mammogram, every time they go to their cancer doctor's office, it brings up this trauma that they've had. But it gets easier as years go by. And some women really meet the fear head on and use it to their life's advantage, saying, you know what, this is threatening to me. It's made me appreciate the really good things I have in life, my family, my loved ones, my children, and I'm going to live life more fully. And many of these women get involved in advocacy and, you know, the Komen walks, and there's kind of a breast cancer sisterhood that exists.
Right. One thing I think we really like and have heard so much about is the Breast Link Angels, which is where the gals, you know, they come back after they've had all their treatments from beginning to end, and then they're paired up with somebody who's been newly diagnosed. What a great way to have a support system if that's what you want. Yeah,
it's really a nice program, and it's really good from both sides, because the newly diagnosed woman really, it just is helpful to see someone who's made the journey and through it.
Right.
And then from the other side, it's very rewarding for that woman to be a role model and to educate her.
Right, right. Now you have written a book here, the Breast Cancer Survival Manual. So I know you go through it and you're talking about kind of what we just talked about in terms of the process. But then in chapter 14, you talk about, what do you do after the fact? And obviously, you've given us a little bit of link to it. If you were to tell somebody right now, here's what you can expect, like in an overview, what would you tell them?
Yeah, so I think it's important that that a woman has a kind of a health plan, personal health plan going forward that's really kind of delineated. So again, you get through the acute phase, and then there's this, for many women, there's a more protracted phase of hormone treatment, and then you're done, and then it's surveillance. And some of the issues into the future are bone health, this fear of recurrence and fear of another breast cancer. So it's, monitoring your bones, getting your annual mammograms. One of the most important things for women with hormone-positive breast cancer to prevent recurrence or another breast cancer is really weight control.
Oh.
Keeping one's mean body mass down into a good range.
Okay.
So a BMI under 24.
Okay.
Vitamin D is important, we think. And then I think living healthy, eating well, exercising.
Right, which seems to be for anything right now.
Yeah.
And it never can hurt.
No.
Oh, well, good. Well, great. Any other things that you'd like to let us know about?
Right now, it's amazing. In my career, as I said, which spans 35 some years, the last 5 years have been the most productive around new breakthroughs and what's happening. And in a number of areas, a couple of areas. One is that in the past we have had to overtreat women because we haven't known who potentially has cells that have escaped, who is at high risk of recurrence. So we pretty much treated everybody. But now we can actually analyze the breast cancer and get some real good data that tells us if local control alone will cure a woman. So we often can avoid any kind of post-operative systemic treatment.
Okay.
The second big breakthrough is the development of targeted agents, because we now can look at the breast cancer genomically. We can do gene probes into the breast cancer, look at the mutated genes, which ones are mutated, and we now have a number of new agents potentially that we can target those mutations. And so to us, that's very exciting.
Right, and that's not too far in the future either. That's like right now.
That's now.
Right, so it'll be interesting to talk to you again in a year or so and see sort of how that's been helping. Either diagnose quicker, maybe curing people quicker, to that extent. Thank you so much. It was very nice to have you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Right, thank you. And if you are diagnosed with breast cancer, don't worry. There are lots of research and information that you can do online, as well as checking out the Breast Cancer Survival Guide.
The all-new 3-row Subaru Ascent. Room for up to 8 passengers. Choice of second-row captain's chairs or bench seating. Standard eyesight driver assist technology. Coming from Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Irvine Subaru. Get your new Subaru here with 2 years complimentary maintenance included.
And our movie today is a really good one. I enjoyed this movie. You are a Star Wars fan. you will enjoy this as well. Solo, a Star Wars story. And this takes place, I think, about 10 years or so before Han Solo finally meets up with Luke Skywalker. And it's during a time when there's a criminal underworld within the area, within the galaxy, and it tells how, well, Han Solo became the person that he is, how he meets Chewbacca, how he meets Lando Calrissian, and how they all go on these adventures together. And I really enjoyed this very much. I would assume there's going to be another one after this as well. And of course, part of this is how he comes across getting the Millennium Falcon. This stars Woody Harrelson is in this, and Aldrin Enric, he plays Han Solo, directed by Ron Howard, and I think you'll like this a lot. Our movie coming up on Friday is a classic, Les Girls, or Les Girls. Cole Potter music is in this, and it stars Gene Kelly, Mitzi Gaynor, Kay Kendall, and this came out back in 1957. So that will be our movie coming up on Friday, a classic, a lot of good music in this, well acted, and just a lot of fun. Les Girls came out, as I said, in '57, and was a big hit at the time. Fun movie, and that will be on Friday. All right, let's tell you about the weather. Love having the fog back, and if you're watching us in the morning looking outside, it's already just about gone. So we're getting the thick marine layer, but it's going away fairly quickly to just nice, pleasant weather, kind of staying in the mid-70s. As we get to the end of the week, though, Thursday, Friday, then into the weekend, we're going to bump that back up again to the mid-80s or so, and we could have some offshore winds associated with that. We'll see if that happens. So enjoy the fog while you can, and I hope it continues a little bit. All right, tomorrow on our show, we're going to have somebody running for state assembly, and also Ken Post will be here from Hearing Remedy. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Mama used to